And now
He's making even prettier penny. And he's dead.
3 million dollars a day. You know, that's just a ballpark figure.
Yeah.
We don't actually know how much he's making per day, but it's a lot. And it's more than what most people make, and he's dead and we're alive.
Yeah, somebody making $50,000 a year, or
$50,000 a year for 40 years.
you're going to average about $2 million in your lifetime of working 40 years, and that's more than Ray Kroc made today, being a dead guy, so...
That's not as much as Ray Kroc made today.
Oh, yeah, not as much. I'm sorry. So, yeah, that in a nutshell is an example of how independent business owning can definitely be beneficial and be accomplished.
That's the definition of duplication also.
Yes, duplication, that's an even
duplication
finer
is
point.
the key.
What's that?
Duplication is the key.
It is.
That's where the time compounding comes in.
Independent business owning is definitely a beneficial way to go either way, but to put a finer point on it, duplication is the way to make it better. I mean, you can own your own business.
If independent business is the car, duplication is the engine.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Because, I mean, you see a bunch of people, and especially local people, that may have a little business. They're not rolling in money. They don't have anybody over their head like if you're employed. So that's, a good thing about being self-employed. But it's a lot riskier than being employed, for one thing.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's a greater risk.
What are you risking?
Your own money. Well, that all depends on what you've got invested in it.
Right.
Because you see these little local businesses that are, the owner is self-employed. He may invest a lot of money in that, a lot of time in that, and then it just flop. And so
I would agree with that, but what has he actually lost if it does flop?
he can go bankrupt.
And then where is he?
That depends on how bad the damage was.
He's in the same position he was before he got the business. He's got to go find a job and work the job and pay his bills.
Yeah.
He's in the same hole he was before and after.
Well, that
unfortunately, I know the monies might be a little different. He's still going to work hard either way.
Yeah.
He's not going to work himself out of a job. He's not going to be financially free ever. So there is no risk, because you're going to do that one way until you work yourself out of a job. The risk is all the same, and that's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, now if anybody wants to go open up a local mom and pop store and have their own business, God bless you, but that's not my thing.
Exactly.
All right. Well, let's just talk about our book that we're doing this episode, which is Prosumer Power. We went over a little bit at the beginning of the episode. The book is Prosumer Power by Bill Quain.
PhD.
Yeah, PhD. Wow.
How to create wealth by buying smarter, not cheaper.
And a lot of people would, on the face of it, disagree with that.
Yeah.
Right from the get-go. Oh, we have coupons. We need to buy this. We need to buy that because we have a $2 off coupon. Well, nobody's ever gotten rich saving money.
No. Never, ever, and never will.
Yes, exactly. And yes, coupons may save you money, but what's it? I mean, for one thing, it might not have been something you were going to get anyway. And for the people that do only use coupons whenever it's something they're going to buy anyway, that's still. I mean, sure, yeah, you came across something good and you're saving $2 or $3, but that's not going to make a world of a difference. I don't care how many coupons you've saved up and how long you've been using them. It's not going to make a world of difference, and it's not going to change your financial situation at all.
Right. And there's a good definition of it. It's when you buy at discount, you subtract from your bank account. When you prosume, you add to your bank account. Buying a home is a classic example of how smart prosumer can spend money and make money at the same time.
Yeah, and I guess for somebody to understand that, I had to back up a little bit and talk about what a prosumer is.
Right.
And we talked about, or we've like I mentioned about coupons and all that. Shopping smarter. I mean, how did you say it? I don't even know how you said it a minute ago.
Buying smarter, not cheaper.
Yeah, there you go. But being a prosumer is buying from yourself, and
put it this way. When's the last time Walmart sent you a check for you going and buying stuff?
Never.
Okay. When has Walmart sent you a check for the commission you got for sending people to Walmart?
Never.
That's consumer mentality.
Exactly.
You go to Walmart, you buy your stuff, you give them your money. You go home with your stuff. That's consuming. It's taking your money away and you get your stuff.
Correct.
When you open up your business, it's a store just like Walmart. It may not be brick and mortar, but it is a store. When you buy from yourself, you create a profit. When your customers buy from you, you definitely create a profit.
Yes.
That is prosuming. Because even when you're spending, you're making money. Because it all adds up.
Exactly. And the way that's accomplished is, if you're buying from yourself, of course, that means you're going to be buying at wholesale. And that's the same with your customers. You've got your customers that are buying at wholesale, but you're selling it to them at retail. You get that whole wholesale to retail profit margin.
Where the duplication comes in, your customers become business owners themselves.
And they have the ability to.
They have the ability to. That is a good example of prosuming to a small extent.
Yes, it is.
It's spending while creating money.
And I guess that is a good nutshell definition of what we're talking about.
Have you ever seen the movie Pay It Forward?
I have, but it's been a while. I had to watch it in school whenever I was, I think, in about 4th grade, 5th grade.
It's phenomenal how that explains the business system of an independent business owner and how it explains the duplication process. They just call it paying it forward. It's one person with a dream and doing good deeds. In the movie, this little boy decides to do one major good thing for 3 individuals and then tells those 3 individuals not to do anything for him, but to find 3 other individuals to do something life-changingly good for them. And it's phenomenal how large that gets in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, that's a good concept too.
That is independent business ownership and duplication at its finest.
Yes, I agree, because in a select few of business systems, that's what it's genuinely about, is helping other people. I mean, now you got your organizations that are more money-minded than anything, and of course that may be the reason why you get yourself involved with it, but there's a lot more to take out of it than that.
Right.
For me anyway, because money for me, I would do...
It's a tool.
Yeah. It amplifies your personality.
Yes, and hopefully you're not a jerk.
That's the ultimate test of seeing if somebody's a jerk. You give them a bunch of money and tell them to do what they want to do with it.
There's a book that says, well, there's several things that it says, but it says a fool and his money is soon parted.
Now say that one more time.
A fool and his money is soon parted. And it also says that the wealth of a fool will ruin him.
Yes.
It's because it intensifies his personality.
Yeah. And just like, hateful people or people who don't have good in their heart, that definitely amplifies them.
One of the biggest things that keeps people from going after their dreams, it's not people that have little education. It's not people that didn't finish high school. Usually, it's the person with the most degrees. They've got a lot of college, they've got a lot of knowledge, and they have this thing that's called status. Now, the definition of status is not the definition, but if you spell out the word status, the letters mean something. It means still too arrogant to understand success.
Yes, I agree with that.
That's exactly what status is.
But now, back up a little bit and explain why the people that have the degrees are the first ones to get, kicked out on their butt.
The reason that people with the most education are the first ones to really hit a brick wall and not do anything is the education they have has taught them to fail. The education system itself was put in place at the turn of the century, at the turn of the 20th century, where there was an economic boom and people were being taught to get a good education so they can get a good job. That's what was there. Everybody needed a job because what was going on? There was World War I, World War II. We needed lots of people doing one thing very quickly, and that's building stuff for the war. that mentality should have been taken care of a long time ago.
It should have, because we have long passed the super huge need for assembly lines.
Exactly. There is a need for it, but there will always be people there for that.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be people without dreams. But that's another story.
Yeah.
But even if everyone on the planet had a dream, and we have at one point or another, it would kind of be like taking turns doing the hard labor stuff, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Or there would be a season of your life for that part.
You mean like younger years?
Yes, and maybe not even years, just a younger time. Because,
yeah, I mean, even if you had somebody doing a certain job for like 6 months, there's always going to be enough people at that age to do that job.
Exactly.
And that makes sense, and that would be an efficient way to go. But then again, that gives everybody else too much freedom.
Is there too much freedom?
No, but I'm saying that education system is still there for a reason, to limit people.
We need slaves.
Exactly, and that's why it's there.
Absolutely.
I'm saying if we had a more efficient system like what we were just talking about, that would, in the eyes of whoever's keeping our education system going, because you can't really pinpoint that. I mean,
you can, but not on this podcast.
But that's what I'm saying. It would give too much freedom in their eyes. All right, well, that pretty much wraps it up for us. Episode 1. I think we've said enough for today.
Episode 1.
Yes. And
I just like the ring of it. Episode 1.
1. All right, and if you have websites, events, whatever, you want to sponsor a whole episode of Operation Freedom, you can contact me personally at austinonline9992@gmail.com. And if you have your questions or comments, whatever you have regarding the show, you can email us. As of now, you can email us your MP3 attachments at operationfreedompodcast@gmail.com. And all this stuff can again be found on our website at www.operationfreedompodcast.com. Thanks, guys, and be sure to stay tuned for our next episode. Woo!
Woo!
Yeah.
Awesome.
Take care, guys.
Bye.